Okay, so just heard a little while ago that in Texas, like people have been charged for being like anti-ICE protesters have been like sentenced to prison for 50 years. And this is basically a crackdown on the First Amendment. It's a crackdown on dissent and all that. Like one person was just handing out flyers or zines and wasn't even at the protest and they're being arrested. Two or three people, like the police told them to leave and they left. One person did open fire, but like they're like on like a cop, but like this was like in self-defense according to them. So that muddies it. But overall, like charging like, oh, my hair's all weird. Charging like people like 50 years, like the people who like stormed the Capitol for like our beloved President Trump, they got like 18 years and were pardoned by Trump. These people, like some of them, one of them wasn't even at the location when it happened and is getting 50 years. So this is a crackdown on the left. It's not really an organization. And yes, I'm scared, but like also in the back of my mind, I think capitalism, it's not smart. If you're a capitalist, it's not smart if you're like taking all the Leninist anarchists and locking them in prison, because that turns the prison system into like a school for radicalization. That's not a smart move if you want like a stable society. Like people going to prison will become far more radical, and they'll be like around each other and they'll interact and they'll radicalize themselves, and they'll be in a situation where they'll be exposed to the most brutal form of class oppression. But like as it is compared to like what's happening in New York with Zoran Mondami, his form of socialism is very affordable. He's not like abolishing the class relationship of employer-employee. He's improving people's lives, don't get me wrong, but he's leaving the functional function of capitalism in place. So that's like a stable option, whereas what's happening in Texas is far destabilizing. It's terrifying, but it's destabilizing. And the bourgeoisie are not smart. Like somebody observed like the Epstein files, like the clients, all they do is talk about how much money they're getting. They want more money, and how can they hurt their enemies. It's just they become off really bad people and really short-sighted and just not good.